Welcome to selfdiscoveryradio.com, where the orchard of wisdom is just ready for picking. We celebrate your why, the journey that you've taken that inspires someone else. We support your services, we support your story. Come and be our guest, become a host, be an author with us. Come and see what we've got. Our next show is... Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another The Story Matters show. I'm your host, Sara Troy, and my guest is Rob Shear. I had him on here a year ago. I was so moved by his story of the comfort cases, and I please invite you to go back and listen to the journey of how comfort cases came about. He went into foster homes when he was a child, and from foster homes, it was always the big black garbage bag to take your possessions on to the next home, and that was it. 40 years on, married, he started taking foster kids himself and discovered to his horror they were still in the big black plastic bags. How could this be so many years later? So he decided to create these things called comfort cases, which are backpacks with all sorts of goodies in them that made a child feel welcome and things that they could take with them wherever they went on their journey. And something just to bring more awareness to the foster care platform, the dignity and the respect of a child, teaching them that they count. He is married with 3 adopted children himself. That started off being four. We've got 4 now. This is an addition since last year. And life changed radically. We did this show a year ago. And since then, he's been on the Ellen Show, and he is everywhere. He's written a book, he's got an extra kid, and so much more. We're going to dive right in. Comfort Cases is everywhere now, and I'm so proud of you. This is wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you so much. First of all, thank you for having me. I'm so excited. And you know what? I will tell you, you're the first one who's come back to do the what's he been doing story.
Oh,
so I love this. And I love that you're the first one. So
I've been following you. So, I'm just watching this elevation, and I'm just couldn't be prouder. It's wonderful to see what you're doing.
Well, I will tell you that it's all because this is why we built communities.
Mm-hmm.
We built communities to take care of each other. And I truly do believe that if you tell people what you need, people will give. And the problem is for so many years, we hid in the shadows as kids in foster care, and we didn't want to talk about it. And we were ashamed and we were embarrassed. We felt disposable. We felt invisible. And it took, the fact is it took, the video that came out that you saw me at the beginning, the Upworthy video. Mm-hmm. And by the way, I have to let you know something. Since that video came out, which was a year ago in March, and that's when you and I actually spoke, we've had 104 million people view that video. But
fantastic.
Upworthy just released it again last week. And in less than 5 days, we've had another 5 million views on that video. People are still talking about it. The fact is that the population of children in foster care is continuing to go up. We are almost at the 500,000 mark here in the United States of kids in care. The things that we have started to learn in the last year, 70% of the girls who are in foster care will be pregnant by the time they're 18. Only 54% of them graduate from high school. And when it used to be 3% graduated from a 4-year degree, it dropped just recently down to 2%. We're not going in the right direction when it comes to kids in care. No. We have got to turn this around, and turn this around immediately. I'm telling you, we have no more time to waste. These children have been sitting on the sidelines for too many years. They have been in a system which, by the way, they did not choose to be there. So at Comfort Cases, we have grown and grown. And by the way, let me tell you how much we've grown. Just last week, we did our 35,000 cases.
Bravo.
35,000 cases in less than 5 years. Mm-hmm. And we are shipping to 34 states, including DC and Puerto Rico. I have to remind people all the time, the United States, Puerto Rico belongs to us. We must take care of them just like we take care of our other neighbors. And so we've been able to ship to 34 different places. But the thing that surprises me the most, Sarah, is that we have done this with 0 corporate sponsors.
Right.
We have done this with communities all over the world. Literally, we have tracked donations from every single continent, And except for Antarctica, I don't know what's up with the penguins, but we have tracked donations from every state. Everyone is giving. And by the way, we're still a 98% volunteer ran charity. I have a full-time job, and so the fact is that, we're able to come together as volunteers and do what is our responsibility, no, our privilege.
Yeah.
Our privilege to give back to our communities.
It's paying it forward. I mean, what we're looking at is children who have become disposable. It's an adult's problem that's been imposed upon a child, and they're paying the price. And it's just throw them into foster care. They'll probably end up being pregnant or drug addicted. Just another statistic. When are we going to stop looking at life as a statistic? And when are we going to start looking at it as a human being that needs to be loved, nurtured, cared, shown the path, guided along their beautiful journey of life, discover what their gift is? It is a gift to be a parent, or, whether adopted or not. We are custodians of our children. It is a responsibility. It is a privilege. And this throwaway society has really got to stop. And if you think about it, it's not just the children. It just seems to have been an epidemic. I don't want it anymore. Throw it away. Pay the price.
Sarah, I'm going to tell you, I got to tell you a story about a 13-year-old boy. He's sitting in Oklahoma right now, and he is at a ranch called Pepper's Ranch. And he was brought over here from this country, from the Congo, for adoption. They adopted him. He got here, and the parents said, "No, I don't want him. We changed our mind." And now this little boy is sitting in a foster home. Just got to hear about his story yesterday, and it just moved me so much. That here, once again, a child sitting in foster care who has never asked to be there. He didn't ask to be brought out of his country and brought to a land that he doesn't know, and he barely speaks English. And now he's 13, mind you, 13. And by the way, you get above that age of 7, they don't want you anymore.
I know.
Not that cute little kid that people all jump to adopt, but this little boy has magic in him, like so many other children of his age in the system. We have to start realizing that these kids are our responsibility.
Yeah.
I say this month is National Foster Care Month. And so I try to tell people every month should be National Foster Care Month, but it should be every month that, listen, adopt. If you can't adopt, foster. If you can't foster, volunteer. If you can't volunteer, donate. And if you can't donate, then educate yourself.
Yes,
Simple
that's a
as
key
that.
point. Educate yourself. It's it's not my responsibility. How does it affect me? Well, yes, it does affect you. It affects society. It affects humanity. It affects every single one of us. There's a ripple effect for everything that goes on in the world. And by you turning your head and saying, why should I care? Or I can't be bothered, or this or that, you're part of the problem now. You're part of the broken system. And I don't care how rich, how powerful, or what your name is. If this is the way you do treat kids, children, the innocents that are there for us to guide, nurture as our future leaders, that if this is the way you treat them now, what does that say about you and your character? So I am going to get tough on people. I don't care how you participate, but step up to the plate, one way or the other. Just one way or the other.
Let me tell you, I say this to people all the time. I go around, I talk all over the United States now, and I'm so blessed to be able to do that. But I tell people all the time, do not tell me that you cannot help, because I hear people say, I don't have any money. Mm-hmm. So I say to them, do you have any books on your bookshelves at home? Well, yes. Well, why do you have books sitting on your bookshelves collecting dust? Donate them to Comfort Cases. There is no such thing as a used book. It is only a book that's been loved.
Yes.
So, you can do that right there. Donate a book to Comfort Cases. You know what? I can't help. Did you stay at a hotel this year? Yes, I did. Well, then don't use this shampoo and soap and lotion. Send it to Comfort Cases. Mm-hmm. We put them in our cases. There is a way for everyone. By the way, you don't have any money, you can't help, go to a group home, sit down and help some child with their homework.
Yeah.
We all can make a difference. Let me tell you, I say this to my children, I say this to anyone who will listen. We need to be doers.
Yes,
Doers.
yes, yes.
We have looked into our society for way too many years and have seen takers.
Yeah.
Takers, me generation. No, no, no. We need to be doers. Doers are truly what build the foundation of our homes and our countries and our states and our lands. Doers are what's going to change our world. And I want to be a part of that doer population. I want to raise doers. I want to talk to doers. And I want us all to make sure that we're doing.
Right. And amen to that. We've got to realize this is a village. This is your community. If there's something at flaw here, what are you going to do about it? It's not sit back and point the finger and say it's your responsibility. We know that governments are limited, or maybe their interests are elsewhere.
Right.
They're not looking at doing anything. We know the rules and regulations are flawed beyond reason. So what can we as a society do and step up? Well, first, that big, huge four-letter word, care. Care. Step up. Again, there's always something you can do. Look at how people go into hospitals and hold newborn babies. And because that connection, psychologically, physically, emotionally, is so very important. How about that foster child that's suddenly been uprooted from the home? They're sent somewhere else. Just those arms around them, that loving caringness. I see you, I hear you, I'm here for you. That's the first step that these children need. Show that you care. A little kindness goes so far. But
Oh
if
my
we don't have
gosh.
caring or kindness in us, if we don't have that, you have to have a damn good conversation with yourself in the mirror.
I agree.
So
I
what is
agree.
lacking in you that you cannot
I
care
agree.
for these beautiful innocents?
Yeah. And we look at the fact I hear the complaints throughout the land of, our penitentiaries, we're paying so much tax money in penitentiaries. Well, maybe if we invest in our youth,
Yes.
by the way, our youth who are filling the penitentiaries are children coming out of care. It is true.
Yes.
But let me tell you, they're not coming out of care and doing things because they're bad. They're doing things because they have no choice.
They
We
don't know
have
anything
to
else.
give
They're
them a
not being
choice.
supported in any other
None,
way.
none whatsoever. Let me tell you, I have been blessed. So every year, for the last 3 years, my husband and I, through our charity, through Comfort Cases, we give a scholarship out to a child in foster care. And I have been so blessed to be able to give another scholarship out. We gave 2 this year, and to these 2 young ladies, one in California, one in Virginia. And these girls, really want to make a difference. The reason I bring this up is that, one of the things that I've been doing in my life so when the last time I talked to you, for over 25 years, I've been in the banking industry, and that's what I've supported my family. It's how I climbed the corporate ladder. I was an executive. Well, just recently, I left the banking industry to take a job as a national spokesperson for a company called KBC. KBC is the largest nonprofit social service agency in the United States. But the reason I took this job is because on January 1 of 2019, we are opening up Riverbend. And Riverbend is the first ever college for children who are aging out of foster care.
Thank you.
This place, it's, I call it almost home is what it's called. You've got to, I went and visited the campus the other day. And as I walked through these doors, I'm going to tell you, I am a kid who didn't have that chance.
You're right.
Didn't have an opportunity to go to school. And when I walked through that door, I felt hope.
Yeah.
When I walked through that door, I felt that I was wanted, that I actually mattered. And I know that's what these kids are going to feel when they go to this school. And by the way, I tell people, this is our responsibility. Go to kbc.org and read about Riverbend, because it's helping kids all over the country. And we're hoping that people will find out that this is what these kids need. We're going to teach them how to balance their checkbook. We're going to teach them, personal hygiene. We're going to make sure that they understand how to take care of their inner self and their outer self, something that we haven't seen happen.
Discover their gifts. Because every single one of us has one, right? We were all born with this gift. We just, in our self-discovery.
Only when, not to cut you off, but you said that. It's when we decide to unlock our
gift. Yes. And that's it.
Unwrap our gift.
And the thing is, it's when we discover that, when that gift is revealed to us, because life is an inside job. You know, you have to teach people to connect, you know, soul, heart, and spirit, and understand the inner voice, the inner gift, you know, what they're really here for. And that's everybody's journey in life, is discovering what we're here for. And we understand that the exterior has such a bombardment on us, and that it really dictates this voice inside. But when a person truly listens to that inner voice and is allowed to be watered and to grow and to blossom into who they really are, look at the gift they are then to the world. So if we take these children and we water and we nurture and we give them that opportunity to have that self-discovery, to find out what their beautiful purpose is, now we're actually serving humanity as a whole, because we now have this gifted, beautiful human being that's a contributor.
Right. And you know what? They want to contribute.
Yes.
You know, they want to contribute.
Yes.
They don't want to be a statistic. They don't want to be, as they consider themselves already, a burden on society. They want to be contributors to the growth of our land. I know that. I've talked to these children. I have talked to these young adults. I have even talked to the ones who have aged out and said, I just want to matter.
Yes.
I want to matter. And by the way, I would rather pay for them now than pay for them when they're in the penitentiary. I would rather stop having to build prisons to take care of these children and start building schools and start building foundations. You know, I brought this up last time, Sarah. One of the things that we do not do for kids in care, and by the way, I do not like the word foster care. I mean, foster children. I think that these are children that are in care. We should not, like, you know, we're so busy in our country labeling people. You know,
yes.
You know, we have to, for some reason, everybody has to have a label. And when I look at children who are in care, and I've heard them say to me, you know, I say, what are some of the things you would change? Well, one, no trash bag, please. Number two, please stop calling me foster child. You know, I'm just a kid.
Yeah.
And so I've made it my point in the last year to try everything in my power to make sure that people understand that these are children in care.
Yeah.
So, you know, the one thing I say about the children in care that we are not doing, and we must do, we are not setting them up for financial success. And what I mean by that is when a child comes into care, the foster family receives what they call a stipend. The state gets a stipend, the agency gets a stipend, the foster parents get a stipend, the child gets nothing.
Right.
And so what I feel we need to do across the lands is we should be taking some of that money and putting it in an in-bearing savings account for these children. As they grow, the money grows. When they turn 18, I'm not saying open up the doors and give them all the money, because we know 18-year-olds are not responsible. Exactly. You know, I got a 13-year-old. I can't even get her to pick a room up. 18-year-olds are not. But what we do is we guide them.
Yes.
We guide them how to really make good financial decisions. But then we also help them in other ways. I was just speaking to a young lady last week. She is 19 years old. She is finally getting her own apartment. She went to fill out her application. She has a job. They pulled her credit, and her credit was awful. She said, Mr. Rob, I've never owned anything in my life.
Right.
Come to find out, her biological family, her biological mother, who was supposed to be there to take care of her and love her, took her Social Security number and got electric in her name and cable in her name and a rent furniture in her name, and didn't pay the bills. And it went on this girl's credit report. And now she's like, what do I do? The apartment won't rent to me because I have bad credit. I don't owe these people money, but they don't believe me.
Right.
We've got to protect these kids. We've got to think outside of the box that we, for some reason, as a society, keep thinking it. Think outside the box. Nobody's ever thought about the fact, oh my gosh, these poor kids' credit reports. We all know as adults, without good credit, you can't get anything. You know,
but it's like the homeless people. It's you know, they can't get a place without a bank account or with money, and they can't get a bank account unless they have a place. You know, and it's like, folks, when the system is not working, isn't it time to sit down and reevaluate? You know, if this kid who's never had a job before this or had time to build up credit, why can't you use your logics and see that this child has been a victim of fraud by the very person that was meant to be there to care for them. Let's add the fact to that, the betrayal, yet again, from the parent for doing this. We've got to understand the psychological behind this. Not only has the child been rejected, and I do know there are some cases where it's beyond the parent's control.
I agree.
There's
we all fall. By the way, I want everybody to know we all fall. And I truly do believe that, yes, we all fall. And we all should have an opportunity to stand up.
Yes.
But if you do not stand up in a timely manner for a child, it is time for you to stand away.
Yes.
And that's something that I think that we as a country have to come to realization.
Right.
The fact that children are in foster care for 3, 4, 5, 6. I just met a little boy. He'd been in foster care for 11 years. That is not acceptable.
No.
12 months is what I say. 12 months. If you as a parent are not getting your act together in 12 months, whether that is you're going to drug rehab, you're going to anger management, you're getting an education, whatever you are doing, being a doer, to get your children back, I'm going to support you. I'm going to support you. But by the way, you have 12 months. In 12 months, if you have not applied yourself, you're not going to.
No.
You're not going to.
And then why should you be the child's burden?
Possession.
They've got enough on their shoulders. They've got their future to take care of. We already know how difficult that is. Why should the parent then be a burden to the child? This is not the way it's meant to be. And again, if the situation is that a parent is really trying and they've reached out, then of course there's that empathy and that working through things together. But when it comes down to the disposable child, like a horrific story about that 13-year-old being brought over as an adoption, like an adoption is just the new fad, the new fashion. Oh, I don't like him, send him back. I think it should be criminalized.
I do too. Oh
Absolutely.
My gosh. Thank you, Sarah. I agree with you 100%. When I was told this story by a CNN reporter yesterday, I absolutely was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Those people who brought him over here, two things should have happened. Number one, they should pay out of their pocket for him to go back. Okay, because he needs to be in his homeland, because this is not his homeland. He is so lost. Number two, they deserve to be behind bars. You want to talk about somebody who needs to be in jail?
Yes.
You deserve jail time for that.
You don't do that to a human being.
That's human trafficking.
Traffic trading.
Yeah.
It is. It's like you're trading this child, and it's like, don't want them anymore, disposable. It's not the way we do it. We look at human trafficking today and we all think everything's to do with the sex trade. Well, that kind of thing of purchasing a child over there and then disposing of them, I look upon that as human trafficking.
I agree. I agree. Well, you look at the statistics. The statistics show that children in foster care are a gateway to human trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we brought this up the last time we spoke, and it's been something that's really been weighing on me a lot, is that we have 4,600 children in the United States, 4,600 children who are missing out of foster care. Missing.
And what's being done about it?
They have no idea
where they are. Don't know about this.
No, haven't heard. Nobody talks about it. Why we don't see their faces on milk cartons?
Right.
Why don't I see their faces on billboards?
Yes.
4,600 children in the United States in foster care that are not accountable for. Not accountable for. I hear social workers say to me, well, Johnny ran away. Why aren't we doing something to find Johnny?
Right.
Susie just, decided she didn't want to be in foster care anymore. So she decided to live on the streets. Excuse me? No, not when not when we know that human trafficking, foster care is a gateway to human trafficking. These kids are being taken. I'm telling you, maybe not all 4,600, but enough of them. And if it's just one child, that's one too many.
Here's another number for you. The sex trade, encompassing all of it worldwide, is $150 billion industry a year. If that is not an epidemic, if that is not a disease, if that is not a criminal activity that should be up at the head of the game, I don't know what is. And you're talking about those children being trafficked, they're part of that statistic. They're feeding that $150 billion a year industry. And it's, why are we turning our backs? Why are we turning our backs on our children? You have adults out there that are in and out of jail, or end up with depression, or go into addiction, go from one job to the other, can never succeed in relationships. Why? Turn the clock back and look at their childhood. How
I agree.
dysfunctional was it?
I agree.
Did they get the
It's a
love? Did they get
cycle.
the caring? Did they get the education? Did they get the support they need? Were they understood? It all stems back to childhood. If you're not willing to invest in your children, pay for the dysfunctional society
I
later.
agree. I agree. I agree. You know, and the fact is that, you know, I say it all the time about kids being in the system for so long. The biggest issue is because they're in the system so long, they're so angry. And they have every
Yes,
right to be angry.
absolutely.
They have every right to be angry. We've got to let them have their emotions. But at the same time, we also have to be there and let them know it's a choice.
Yeah.
It's a choice. You know, I tell my kids all the time, you know what? Your dad and I love you so much. We made the choice to adopt you.
Mm-hmm.
Your parents, who were your biological parents, made the choice to do what they did.
Right.
It's a choice. It's not a choice for a child to go into foster care. They didn't choose that. Okay?
Oh, yeah, mum and dad, I'm just going to pop into foster care now,
Oh,
where I'm probably either going to be loved or not loved, or sent off into a corner, or
yeah.
maybe escape onto the street to become a sex trafficker. No,
Right.
this is not on the kid's resume or whole to-do
And,
list, right?
and I do want people who are listening to this amazing show to know that there are good foster parents.
Oh, yes.
We
yes.
have some great foster parents.
Yes.
We have some great foster parents. But let's also talk about that. We have some great politicians too. But you know what? We're not going to talk about them.
No.
We've got some great foster parents. I'm not talking about them because the problem is that's not the norm.
No.
I want to talk about what the norm is.
Yeah.
The norm is this is an industry that is making money on the backs of children. And people don't want to talk about it. The politicians don't want to talk about foster care. Our state leaders don't want to talk about foster care. And the reason is because it's a moneymaker. It's a moneymaker.
And it isn't sexy. You know, we're still talking about bloody Hillary's emails and you know, and all this other crap that constantly keeps being.
Let's talk about the 4,600. Let's talk about, you know, I turn on the news and I hear all of this, you know, just garbage.
Yes.
And I say, gosh, can we talk about the fact that we're getting ready to open up a college for kids in foster care that has never happened before? Can we talk about the 4,600 kids that are missing? Can we talk about the state of Georgia that just released today? They went from 7,500 foster children to 15,000.
What?
15,000. Explain to me what's going on in our society.
Right.
Why are we increasing our numbers? And I'll tell you what it is. It's drugs. I'll tell you what it is. It's the breakdown of families.
Yes.
I'll tell you what it is. It is the me, and not looking at your neighbor and saying, how can I help you?
Narcissistic behavior. It really is. It's an epidemic. And, you know, there's another factor of this is that, okay, you have people, it's so easy to get pregnant, and then you have a kid, and it's all very, you know, like a new toy and a new gift, and then that kid requires attention, daily attention, and you've got to step up and support that kid financially, emotionally, and every other way. But most of the people that are having these children are still kids within themselves. They don't know how to hold down a job. They don't know how to have a relationship because it's just one broken wheel after the other, going on and on. So again, back to the core of the children, but let's also help these parents.
Yes.
Let's help these parents who are at this crossroads. They're not quite sure what to do. Instead of taking the kid from them and saying, throw it in foster home and throw away the parents, how about we put some resources into the parents so they can take care of the child?
I agree. I agree with you 100%. We need to keep the families intact as much as we can. You know, we really do. You know, I do believe that if a child's being abused,
out of the house,
but the neglect part of it, and we have so many kids that are removed from neglect. You know, I was reading just not long ago an article in the New York Times about a woman, single woman, by the way, in right outside of Brooklyn. Hard-working woman, worked 2 jobs, had a 5-6-year-old daughter, and she lived in an apartment, and she'd fallen asleep on the couch. And the little girl opened up the front door, and she walked out. She went down the stairs, and she walked outside, and it was dark, and a police officer saw her. Police officer got her, and she asked where she was going. She said she was going to her grandmother's across the street or and the police officer took the little girl to jail, to the police station. And they went back to the mother's house, knocked on the door. The mother was freaking out. She couldn't find her daughter. They ended up putting this little girl in foster care. Okay. The little girl went into foster care for, it took the mother, I want to say, I think it was like 60 or 90 days to get her daughter back. To get her daughter back. I'm telling you something right now. The damage of that little girl.
Yes.
The damage of that little girl. Again, this hard-working mother who, she fell asleep on the couch. Her child opened up, nobody would listen to her. Maybe because she was black,
right.
Maybe because she lived in what they called the Harlem of the hood, maybe
right.
because of the fact that she couldn't afford an attorney, maybe because of the fact that she didn't look like you and I.
Mm-hmm.
That's not acceptable.
No.
We've got to stop jumping, splitting these families up. But what we should have done with this little girl, set the little girl down with her mother, talked about the importance of not leaving your home.
Yes.
We should have, asked the mom that, hey,
Is
can
this
we
something
help
we
you
can
with some
do for you?
babysitting, so you can get some rest. You're working 2-3 jobs. That's what communities are supposed to do. We don't do that. We don't do that.
I just did an interview with a young man who's come up with a honeycomb community where 5 stories high and 2 or 3 on a lot, and the whole principle behind it is a community living there. Your seniors to your students to the young couple just got married to the family, where everybody comes together. Community potlucks, supporting one another. We're going and buying the groceries for the seniors maybe helping out with the kids, and we have so much segregated.
Yes.
And we're so accusatory, guilty before proven innocent.
Yes.
And we have got so much judgment that we are missing the point. How did it happen? Why were we not there? Where was the support? And we've got to go back to the core instead of guilty. That's it.
That's it. You're guilty. Yeah, I agree. And I keep saying all the time that, the system is going to change. I am not going to sit back and not continue to keep talking about it. It's one of the reasons that you said, I have a book coming out. I can't believe it. I'm absolutely shocked, but I have a book coming out, and it's actually my memoirs, and it's a forever family fostering change one child at a time. I'm so excited about it. And the reason I'm excited about this book is because it's going to give children who read this book, and it's going to be young adults, that it's going to let them know that, what, this guy cares about you. And this community that we have built called Comfort Cases cares about you. Yeah. And we really want to be there for you. I say it all the time. Children are not bad. They just need redirected. And we need to redirect them. We need to redirect them to let them know that we believe in them. We're going to give them hope and dignity for their future.
There's another big word. Love.
Oh, love.
We're going to love them. We're going to love them. We're going
and
to
by the way,
them, cuddle them,
love them,
and nurture them.
Love them unconditionally.
Yes.
We have that. Let me tell you, that'll be beyond anything. Love unconditionally. You're not going to always agree with somebody.
But that's the point.
You think
discipline doesn't mean you don't love them. Disagreeing with something they've done doesn't mean you don't love them.
Exactly.
Right? You're going to love them unconditionally. You're not always going to condone the things that they do.
Right. Of course. Let me tell you, as a father of 4 kids, 9-year-old, 2 11-year-olds, and a 13-year-old, I don't always like the choices that they make.
Right.
I don't like always. But you know what? I love them.
Oh, yes.
And I always love them.
Yeah.
And I will love them through hell and high water. They are my babies. But I'm not always going to like the choices they make. I have
3 adult children, and I've got gray hair. A lot of them have their name on it. And, my son at one point, he saw some horrific things. A friend of his being murdered literally in front of him. It was a gun shooting. It could have been him. It was his friend. And, just had an impact on him. And at one point, he had a choice to make on which road to take. And it always brings tears to my eyes, so I'm going to get emotional here. But he said he saw my face and felt my love and knew that he couldn't take that road. We're not always with our children, but if they know our love, our belief in them, our trust in who they are as a person is always with them. When it comes to it, they'll make the right decision. But that comes from that unconditional love.
Whoa. Well, wow. That it is. It's unconditional love.
Yeah. Yeah. And it doesn't matter if you've birthed the child, adopted the
No.
child, or this child is just in your care. You know, wrapping your arms around that child, heart to heart, head on the shoulder, just simply, I love you.
I love you.
You know, why do you love me? Because I just do. There doesn't need to be any other explanation, does there?
Yeah. You know, that's so that you've said that. I just gotten back yesterday from a business trip, and my one of my 11-year-olds, who he's my 11 going on 16. I loved when I just wrapped my arms and hugged him, and you know, Daddy loves you, and I make sure I try to tell my kids all the time that, you know what, I love them. My husband makes sure to tell them every day, you are special.
Yeah.
You're special. And why are you special? Because you're you.
Yes.
Because you're you.
Yes.
You know?
Most of the adult problems in life is that somewhere along the line, they haven't been seen, they haven't been heard, they haven't been acknowledged for who they are. Right? We all want to know, I stand in my own light. This is my gift, my contribution. This is who I am. And because society is always dictating what we should be, and you can only be if you fit into this box or this stereotype, we're ignoring the fact of how beautiful we really are and what our contribution and our gift is. If we nurture that beautiful gift in a child and allow them to, as blossom, the seeds grow from, you know, from the caterpillar into that cocooning, into that beautiful butterfly of being, we are not only resolving future issues, because we've got this beautiful, confident child that stepped into their gift, their contribution to who they are, that allows them to explore in confidence, in love, and in trust. We then, you want to heal the future, heal the child. Heal the child. Let them discover that gift. Water them, nurture them, get that sunlight of love on them. And then we will see the future we really want to see.
I agree. And the fact is you hit the nail on the head. If you really want to heal the world, you've got to heal the child.
Yes.
You know, and we have to heal every child we can get our hands on.
Every child.
Everyone that we can touch, we need to touch them, you know, and make sure that they know that they do matter. They do matter. You know, it's like I say it, you know, as I was talking about the fact that.
Hello. Who have we got behind you?
That is Tristan.
Hi, Tristan.
This is Tristan. This is my 9-year-old. Can you say hi to Miss Sarah?
Hi.
Hi, sweetheart. How are you?
Daddy's doing a podcast, so thank you.
Yeah, that's great.
So kids are home from
daddy there, Tristan.
You know, kids are home from school. But, you know, the thing I say to my kids all the time is the fact that, you know, we've got to be able to let every single child know that we love them unconditionally.
Yes.
But we are also going to give them every single opportunity, whether they came from our wombs or they came to us through adoption. We're going to give them everything they need. And that's
community kids. I mean,
yes.
I've been following you for a long time, and it was from that Upworthy thing I approached you in the first place, and I said we got to do a show. And the first show, please go back and listen to it, folks, because it's his journey from being a foster child, leading to the comfort case, but also the trials and tribulations you went through with your husband in adopting children and becoming a foster parent. Not only because you're two men, but, you know, black children, white parents, and all that crap that you had to go through. So please listen to that show. When it comes down to it, folks, black, white, pink, yellow, polka dot, I don't care. Love is needed. And if there's love to give, open the doors to it.
So Sarah, I don't know if you remember, and I hope people go back and listen to the story. And I hope the fact that, you know, they go back and they hear that, you know, the journey of me as being a homeless kid and, you know, bringing my 4 children in and having them with trash bags and, you know, the battle my husband and I went through because we were 2 white gay men wanting to adopt 4 black kids. But I don't know if you remember, I said that, you know, I got my one son, Grayson, who people will come up and say, are they adopted? And Grayson will say, no, we're not. And I'll say, Grayson, he'll say, Dad, look at us. Why would somebody ask that? And why does it matter?
Right. Right.
Why does it matter?
You see,
You
out of
know,
the mouths of our children comes common
yes,
sense.
yes. Why does it matter?
Yes.
The fact is, we were walking to the park last night after having dinner, and my arm around my one son, and we were laughing, and I saw other people look at us, and I saw people smile at us, and people could see the love that I and my husband have for our children, and the love my children have for their dads.
Yes.
The love they have for their dads. And by the way, they don't care whether we're men or we're white. What they care about is that we love them. We
Bottom
want
line.
them.
Bottom line. And you know what? If for anybody out there that wants to pass judgment, again, I invite you to go and have a conversation with your mirror.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Who are you?
I say, my farm is open. My farm is open. You want to come and visit my farm and see how, we do laundry like everybody else. We do homework like everybody else. We, sit down at a dinner. We pray just like everybody else. Okay? So we are no different. The thing that we're a family of doers.
Right.
And we're going to continue to do. As long as there is breath in me, I'm not going to stop talking about foster care until that last child is educated and taken care of. I'm not going to stop talking about the fact that this is our responsibility as a community, and we're part of one community. This is all of our village. We have to take care of these kids, Sarah.
It gives us such great hope right now when we're seeing the kids, high school kids, stepping up and saying,
Oh,
no guns in our school.
yes.
You're the adults. You're meant to be here looking after us, providing security. There was one senator that said, well, I think the kids should learn CPR. And as the other kid said, that doesn't help when the AKA has just shot you in the head.
Exactly.
And the thing is that these are the kids that will make the change.
And they are doers. By the way, I just spoke at a high school. I was so excited that this high school had me come and speak. They did a packing party. They raised money. They made cases. And I looked at these amazing group of kids, these young adults who were, juniors and seniors. And I said, you are our future.
Yes.
And you know what I love and I'm excited about it is that they are doers.
Yes.
They are society's kids who are saying no more.
Right.
No more. We are no longer, first of all, we're no longer going to rely on our government because I'm going to tell you right now, they're not getting anything done. We need to rely on our communities. Our communities. People say to me all the time, well, the government takes care of these kids, and why can't the government give them a comfort case? You know what? I'm not waiting for the government to get through their red tape to see that they're doing things wrong. As a community, we're going to do it.
And quite honestly, governments around the world are on notice. That the humanity and community and nationality is standing up and saying, we're not going to take this anymore. We're not going to stand from this anymore. And we're going to stand united. Again, black, white, pink, yellow, no matter what the economics are, no matter where you come from, no matter what your religion is. It's rise up. Andrea's song, rise up. Come together, see what's wrong, step forth and make a difference. I do a lot of shows on ecology, on the ecosystems and on the solutions out there. And they would say, we're not waiting for government. We're doing this. We're doing this. We see there's a problem. We're creating it. And there are plenty of other philanthropists or industries that will get behind it. What you've got to do right now, while we're talking to you, is look to your family and go, okay, what are we going to do, family? How are we going to help?
And by the way, I don't care what you do. I don't care if you go work at a food bank. I don't care if you go read to an elderly.
Just something. Step out of your own little bubble and go and do something.
But you know what? If you really want to do something, go to comfortcases.org. And really be a part of our movement because, this year, so real quick, because I know we don't have much more time to talk, but I want to talk real quick about, as you said, about the Ellen DeGeneres show. So last year, I was absolutely honored with my husband and our 4 children to Ellen called and said, I want you on my couch. And she flew my family out there. And, when we got to meet her, she did something unbelievable for us. She handed us $50,000 from Samsonite, but she said, I want you to do something with this to change your charity. Really, that's what she was saying as she was giving us this. I went back to my little town of Darnestown, Maryland, and I thought to myself, when we started this charity almost 5 years ago, the one thing that we wanted to do was to eliminate trash bags.
Right.
And I knew that our comfort cases really weren't doing that. The comfort cases were only large enough to be able to, give a child the necessities for their first night.
Right.
So we went on the website of Samsonite and we looked and found a 32-inch duffel bag. And so starting last year, we took that $50,000 and we bought these, what we now call Comfort XLs. They are 32-inch duffel bags. We fold them up, we put a ribbon around them, and they go inside the comfort case. By the way, we've eliminated trash bags now. We have actually eliminated trash bags because now you have no excuse.
Yes.
We have not only given you a comfort case, but a Comfort XL that is, by the way, it's large enough to fit my Bernese Mountain Dog. It's huge. And so, but what we've done is we've really said, you know what? You told me we couldn't do it. I've shown you that we can do it.
Right.
And since then, I've had the Montgomery County in the state of Maryland, and I've had Carmel County in Texas sign proclamations saying no more trash bags. These counties have said, we're not allowing it in our counties any longer. Why? Because Rob Scheer and Comfort Cases and the Scheer 6 have guaranteed that they will send us as many comfort cases as we need with Comfort XLs in them, so our children will never carry a trash bag. We can do this around the country, but we need people to get on comfortcases.org and help us.
Yes.
You know it. We need donations.
Yes. Donations, find out what it is you need. If it's the money that you don't want to send, and there's items you need.
Items.
You can actually go to a particular company and say, I'm going to give $1,000 worth of product, send it out to them. Right?
Yes.
I mean, there's all sorts of things that you can do. The thing is, ask. Don't assume. Ask. What do you need, Rob? Tell me the list. Let me see what I can go around in my community with my kids in our little bucket and saying, we're collecting money for little squishy toys for the comfort case, or for soap for the comfort case, or brushes for this comfort case. Let us raise the money, and from our community, we will send it to you in pride that we know we're contributing. What a gift to your children and for your community to know they're making a difference in the lives of others.
Exactly. I know that you have amazing listeners because, they tune into this show because you're an amazing person.
Thank
and
you.
I can feel your heart through the screen. I know that people that are listening, they want to make a difference.
They do. They just sometimes don't know how.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And I'm telling them how they can do it. Visit our website, comfortcases.org. And if you can't do that, find out about your foster care system locally.
Yes.
Find out about what you can do in your foster care system.
Right.
How can I mentor a child who isn't getting mentored? How can I sit there and help them with their homework or understand math or take them to get their hair cut?
Yes.
Maybe just to get an ice cream and listen. That's what
Do you know that
all
the
need.
other thing is your big brother and your big sister system? If you've got a teenager there, how can they step up and just become a friend to that foster child? Very often in the foster homes, there's more than one child, and they maybe not getting the attention. If you're in that community, why can't you step up and say, once a week, twice a week, we're going to hang out. This is a safe place for this child just to talk, to unload, to go and do something and feel they're heard, they're seen, they're cared for. There's so many ways. And I think on your own, you may not come up with them. If you start the conversation with your family, with your friends, with your community, with your school, with your church, and go, okay, how can we help? What can we do? Let everybody put their hand up and say, what about this idea and that idea? Okay, how are you going to make it happen? What are you going to do to make it happen? Don't just talk. Get out there and do something about it. Now, I want to cover a little bit about the university. That is just mind-blowing.
Yes, Riverbend. I am so excited about Riverbend. It is in a little town in West Virginia. KBC bought what they used to call WV Tech, and they bought this college that was already there. And they are, it's in the process of, they wanted to make sure it had top of the line of everything. I just visited. We're just about done with completion. We're going to be starting to take applications in September, and we're going to have our first set of students arrive in January. And again, it's going to have music therapy. It's going to have art therapy. It's going to give all these kids who are able to come. And by the way, I wish we could take them all. And we're hoping. We have 2 dorms right now that are just beyond repair. And so we're trying to raise money to get these 2 dorms fixed. And, I tell people all the time, if you want a dorm named after you, reach out to me.
Yes.
And I'll even name a dorm after you, because these kids deserve to have the best. And you know what? If we give them the best, they're going to give us the best.
Right.
They're going to give us the best. I say this all the time. I know that a child that walks into Riverbend is going to be, the next president, the next Nobel Prize winner, the next doctor, the next scientist who discovers something that could cure one of ours.
Yes.
Because it's one of theirs.
Right.
And we have to believe in them as much as I believe in them. And that's why I am putting everything I have into this school called Riverbend. And again, go to kvc.org. You can read all about it. It's exciting. It is something that we have never done in the United States. It is a first of its kind. And I'm going to tell you, it's not going to be the last.
No,
it's not going to be the last.
Precedent of where it can go. And there again, you've got money to spare. You're a rich dude, and it's like you're so busy protecting your gold in your ivory tower. I'm sorry, folks, open up the door and see the reality of what's going on out there. Take a chunk of that gold, and how about you buy all the computers for the university?
Oh gosh, wouldn't that be amazing?
Right?
Wouldn't that be amazing? We tried to, and I would tell you, we asked for a grant to buy computers, and we got turned down. And I said to my team at KVC that, what, we're not stopping here. We're not stopping here.
Do you actually have a funding platform so people can actually contribute just
Yes, if you go to kvc.org, there is a donation platform there for Riverbend. There's an opportunity for you to contact me directly. You can go to comfortcases.org and contact me directly. The fact is that education is the only thing that separates each and every one of us. It's not our skin color. No. It is our education level. And these kids deserve to be educated. And what I really want people to know is that they deserve to be educated and not walk out with a ton of debt.
Yeah. I mean, why are we putting burden on their shoulders before they even get out there?
I had somebody say to me, well, my kids they're doing financial aid. You know what? Your kid didn't grow up in foster care.
Right.
Your kid didn't grow up with not having. Your kid did not grow up with the fact that they were too busy worrying about where they were going to live than just study on a book.
Right.
That's not what your kids went through.
Right.
These kids deserve for us to take care of them, for us to make sure that they walk out of this system debt-free, with knowledge. And the only thing I'm going to ask every one of those students as they walk through that door is, when you leave here, be a doer. Be a doer.
There's another fact here, having done a narcissistic show, it really opened up my mind, is that a young child has a certain amount of time to develop the frontal lobe of empathy. And if a child is brought up where, a child is automatically going to be me, myself, and I, because that's the survival of a child. And you have to start teaching them how to care, how to have the empathy, to take responsibility for anything that, inflicted upon another, because that's what develops them to be a compassionate human being. And we have to understand that sometimes we're dealing with children that can be on that narcissistic spectrum, because somewhere in that window, nobody showed them how to care. Nobody showed them how to have compassion or empathy for another, because nobody gave it to them. Nobody developed it to them. And now you're looking at a totally different case. They're your difficult ones, but that doesn't mean you throw them away. It just means they need even more of your love.
You're right. Sarah, you're right. You're right. You are right. And we are going to make a change. I know it. I
Look
know
at
it.
you. I mean, no, seriously, look at you. When I interviewed you, I was inspired by the story. You started this comfort case. You were a foster child yourself. It's not something that you're a rich dude started this. No, you know the struggle. Not only the struggle of being a guy who was a foster kid, a gay parent, black kids. I mean, if you've chosen an uphill battle, you decided to take that uphill. But look where you are right now. You're at the top of this mountain, and you've got more mountains to climb. But every
Oh,
single mountain you choose to climb,
and you know
look
what I
what you're
love?
doing. Look what you're doing, man.
I love it. And what I love, I'm not by myself. I
No,
have a community
you've
standing
gathered.
next to me.
Yes.
Yeah, I am
Yeah.
just, I tell people are like, oh my gosh, look what you did. I said, no, look what we've done.
No, look what you inspired. Look what you, I always say these shows are inspiration for invitation. Look at what your inspiration has done. Look at the invitation and who's heard the call. You played the music, baby, and everybody's come to the dance.
Oh, and the dance is still going and it's going to continue to go.
Yes.
So
Yes.
again, I hope people visit kvc.org, find out about Riverbend, go to comfortcases.org and really, and you know what? If you want to, go to Amazon, our
Please
book, A Forever Family, you're the first to see it. A Forever Family, Fostering Change, One Child at a Time is now available on Amazon on pre-order. Comes out November 6th. And by the way, make sure you watch your local news, watch CNN, watch NBC. You're going to see some big surprises coming up with Comfort Cases.
Yes.
We're everywhere. We're not going anywhere, and we're going to continue.
Yes, you are going somewhere. You're going up.
To the top.
Right up
to the top.
And huge. That's where you're going. There's no stopping you now. You're a force wind. You're a tornado. And I'm just glad to catch you on the road. And
I can't wait,
you're coming back
Sarah,
in January to tell us about the university. I was
going to say, Sarah, I hope that you and I next year have the same conversation.
Yes.
Do what's he did now, and see how this university is going, and see how things are really, because I'm going to tell you, change is in the air, and it's in the air for our entire country.
Yes,
I smell it. I feel it. Yeah. It's in my heart of heart. I know change is in the air, and I'm just so happy to be a part of that change.
Well, you're a disruptor. And the thing is, we cannot have, the clarity, the compassion, what's really needed to be addressed without disruption. And you're shaking that. And, the whole of North America, and especially America right now, is in what we call in the ruins, the Haggas ruin, in disruption. And you're shaking it up, and you're getting rid of what doesn't serve you. And so there's going to be a huge, massive shift coming up. And now it is the voice of the people. It's not only your voice that's needed. It's your action that is needed. And so put away the pitchforks, put away the hate, put away the judgment, put away your righteousness. Step up in compassion, in love, in community, because understand, your country is only as great as you all step up together and work together as one.
You said it. You said it, my friend. You said it, This
has been a delight. It's always a delight to speak to you, but it's even more, gravy or cherry on the top this time. I'm so happy to see what you've done. And this is a testament to you, to your tenacity, to your belief, but I think very much the love from your husband, the love of you as a child, knowing what love you needed. And instead of you taking the violin and going, woe is me, doing something about it to make sure that that next child doesn't go without like you did. And thank you for choosing to take this path of empowerment, of inspiration, of liberation, and inviting the world to be a part of it. And to everybody out there, we have a donation button here on the posting of selfdiscoveryradio.com under his show. Just put Rob Shearer in, you will see all his shows there. And please be a part of it. Every little counts. The ocean is made up of God knows quadrillions of drops. Be that drop that makes a difference.
Yes.
But please do whatever you can do. I don't want you to say, oh, that's a nice show. No. Do something. I don't care what it
Sarah,
is. Something positive, do something.
You are amazing. Thank you. I'm so blessed to call you my friend. And I can't wait to continue this journey with you. And again, hope everybody visits kvc.org and comfortcases.org and show how you can truly make a difference in a child's life. Thank you.
We all can. We all should. And there's that should. And we all will. Just decide what it's going to be. Thank you so much. You are a gem. You're an angel. Can't wait to the next chapter. And thank you for making a difference for humanity and for the kids, those that are forgotten. Until next time, folks. Bye for now. For more wonderful shows like this, please go to selfdiscoveryradio.com, podcasts, and see our lineup. And if you wish to support us, we have a funded button. Please stay tuned for our next show.